Sometimes the habits that look harmless to adults feel huge to babies, and those moments can shape their nervous systems. A baby cannot explain fear, confusion, or loneliness, so the message comes through crying, arching, staring away, waking, or silence. That is what makes this hard. The signs are ordinary, the damage is quiet, and loving parents can miss it. Not because they do not care, usually because nobody taught them how babies read tone, timing, faces, and emotional energy. Your baby is not judging your perfection. Your baby is asking one question today: am I safe with you now? And 7 everyday habits can answer that question in ways parents never intend. The last one is especially deeply misunderstood. The first habit is treating cries like noise instead of communication. Crying is not manipulation. It is your baby's language. In early infancy, the brain cannot calm itself. Stress chemicals rise, and comfort from you helps bring them back down. That does not mean every cry demands panic. It means your baby learns from what happens next, especially during patterns. When a baby signals discomfort and nobody comes, the lesson is not independence. The lesson can become distress happens alone. Sometimes the baby eventually gets quiet. Parents feel relief, but quiet is not always calm. Sometimes it is shut down instead. American parents hear mixed messages about spoiling babies, but pediatric guidance says young babies cannot ever be spoiled by responsiveness. Responding does not create weakness. It builds expectation, and expectation becomes trust, which later supports confidence, exploration, and emotional regulation. Think about the feeling beneath the sound. Hunger, pain, overstimulation, fear, separation, gas, exhaustion. Every cry asks for interpretation today. Even when you cannot fix things instantly, your presence matters. A calm voice, chest, or gentle hand changes experience deeply. This is co-regulation in plain English. Your steadier body helps organize your baby's overwhelmed system until self-regulation develops. That is why cortisol matters here. It powers the stress response, and repeated activation can make soothing and sleep harder. And babies notice patterns. If comfort usually follows distress, their nervous system predicts relief sooner, which softens the stress response. If distress meets delay, irritation, or emotional distance, the body may stay on alert longer. That is where insecurity begins. No parent responds perfectly every time. Safety comes from enough repair, enough consistency, and enough moments where distress meets connection. So habit 1 is not simply ignoring crying. It is forgetting that crying is data, emotion, and information arriving loudly. The second habit is using a sharp voice with baby, even when the words seem harmless. Babies feel tone first. Long before language, infants decode rhythm, volume, tension, and facial expression. Your nervous system becomes the room they live in. That is why a clipped tone can land differently than parents imagine. The sentence sounds normal. The body does not. A baby who hears harshness may startle, freeze, squirm, or look away. Those reactions are not dramatic. They are protective. Even conflict between adults can wash over a baby like weather. Studies have linked shouting around infants with higher stress. This matters because repeated stress does not stay emotional. It becomes biological, shaping sleep, feeding, and how the baby settles. You do not need a whisper voice. You need awareness that babies' brains are listening with skin, eyes, and heartbeat. Babies also read faces for clues. A tight jaw or flat expression can feel confusing long before words carry meaning. One example comes from the still face research. When a caregiver suddenly goes emotionally blank, babies quickly protest and unravel. They smile less, strain harder, then show distress, because babies expect emotional return. Connection is not extra, it is infrastructure. So when frustration rises, the goal is not fake happiness, it is gentle repair. Soften your face, reset voice, reconnect. That repair teaches something beautiful. Human moments can wobble, then come back together. For a baby, that is profound safety. You do not ruin safety with one bad moment. You strengthen safety by making your return warm, clear, and recognizable. The third habit is moving through caregiving tasks mechanically. Feeding, diapering, burping, dressing. Babies experience caregiving as relationship, not chores. When care becomes rushed and silent, the baby's body still gets handled, but the emotional meaning can feel strangely empty. Harvard's development work calls this serve and return. Baby signals, adult responds, and the brain wires through back and forth. A glance answered matters. A coo answered with warmth matters. Tiny responses tell the brain, a reach and someone comes. Now imagine the pattern. Bottles without eye contact. Diaper changes with irritation. Buckling straps while scrolling. Efficient, yes. Connecting. Barely. Babies do not need entertainment during every task. They need enough moments of acknowledgement to feel known inside daily care. That is why rituals matter so much. Morning pickup, bath time, getting zipped in the pajamas, those moments teach expectations early. When you narrate gently, pause for their expression, or mirror a sound, you are really doing more than being sweet. You are telling the brain that relationships are responsive places. That expectation becomes part of later trust, curiosity, and resilience. Even pausing during a diaper change to meet their eyes can turn handling into connection, and connection into security later. Many parents worry they are not doing enough enrichment, but the richest brain building happens during the simplest caregiving exchanges. The fourth habit is overwhelming the baby's senses, then misreading the meltdown. Babies can look fussy when they are flooded. Bright lights, loud televisions, constant passing between adults, busy errands, strong scents, endless stimulation. Some babies absorb all of it. Then parents see sudden crying and assume the baby needs more bouncing, more toys, more talking, more attempts to distract. But sometimes the hidden meaning is exactly the opposite. The baby is not underengaged. The baby is overloaded instead. An immature nervous system cannot sort everything efficiently. Sounds, faces, movement, and touch can pile up faster than regulation happens. That is why babies look away during play, yawn unexpectedly, spread their fingers, stiffen, or bury their face against you. Those are not rejections. They are often elegant little boundaries from a nervous system saying, "This is too much today." Emotional safety is not only about affection. It is also about respect for sensory limits and the pace of recovery. A quieter room, dimmer light, slower voice, and fewer hands can completely change a baby's behavior within just minutes today. When parents slow the environment, many babies soften almost instantly. That can feel surprising because the answer seems too simple. Parents are often relieved when they realize this. The baby was not difficult. The baby was protecting themselves from overload. The fifth habit is leaving and returning without emotional preparation. Adults know separation is temporary. Babies often experience only disappearance. A quick handoff can seem efficient, but for a young baby, sudden separation can feel like the ground shifted underneath. This is especially true when departures happen silently, or when a parent reappears distracted and completely misses the reunion afterward. Babies build security through predictable patterns. I feel you leaving. Someone helps me through it. Then you return and reconnect. That reconnection is not a small extra. It teaches that distance does not erase relationship, and return brings emotional repair. You see this in daycare drop-offs, bedtime handoffs, and even stepping away during a very hard crying spell briefly. A small ritual helps. A phrase, a kiss, a familiar touch. Repetition gives the nervous system something stable to hold. If you need a break, take one safely, but come back with intention. Let your presence say, "I returned clearly." That matters because attachment is not constant physical contact. Attachment is confidence in the relationship across those moments of distance. Even older babies studying object permanence still need help with emotional permanence. They remember your feeling before understanding time fully. So the hidden habit is not just leaving. It is leaving without a bridge and returning without fully meeting them. The sixth habit is turning sleep into emotional separation instead of emotional safety. Sleep struggles often hide attachment confusion underneath. Parents understandably focus on schedules, wake windows, naps, and getting everyone enough rest. But babies experience bedtime through relationship first. If bedtime feels tense, abrupt, or lonely, the body may resist sleep even when the baby feels exhausted inside already. That is not stubbornness. Falling asleep means letting go of alertness, and babies do that best when safety feels strong. A soothing routine works partly because predictability calms the stress system. The body starts anticipating comfort instead of protest tonight. This does not mean every family must parent sleep the same way. It means method matters less than emotional meaning. Can your baby feel your steadiness? Can they sense bedtime is supported, not a nightly rupture they simply endure alone? Even gentle sleep training conversations often miss this deeper point. Babies respond not only to absence, but to atmosphere too. If the room is calm, the routine familiar and connection full, sleep can become trust instead of lonely surrender again. And if sleep plans change, consistency in your emotional tone matters more than pretending certainty while feeling frustrated inside tonight. If bedtime follows overstimulation, parental frustration, or emotional distance, the baby's body may keep checking carefully for danger tonight still. That can look like frequent waking false starts or needing extra contact. Sometimes the behavior is less mystery than message. The seventh habit is expecting emotional maturity your baby simply does not have yet. Adults can personalize baby behavior easily. A baby turns away while feeding. A parent feels rejected. A baby cries when transferred. A parent feels manipulated suddenly. But babies are not giving attitude. They are giving raw nervous system information with the tools development currently allows them. When parents interpret normal infant behavior through adult motives, the responses often become colder, sharper, and more controlling than necessary. That is where small misunderstandings quietly grow. The baby feels pressure, the parent feels failure. Both become less regulated there. Developmental timing matters here. A very young baby cannot borrow logic yet. They borrow sensation, rhythm, and your presence first. One powerful shift in baby psychology is learning to ask, what is this behavior protecting in my baby right now? Maybe the baby is avoiding eye contact because they are full. Maybe they scream in the car seat helplessly bare. Maybe they wake after 20 minutes because their stress system rose. Maybe clinginess means connection needs replenishing today, not correction. This lens changes everything. It turns behavior from inconvenience into information and parenting from control into interpretation and guidance instead. It also protects parents from shame. If behavior has meaning, then struggle is not proof that you're failing today. This is where oxytocin enters the story. Warm contact and responsive care help both parent and baby feel safer together. That is the hidden comfort in all of this. Babies heal inside relationship, and relationship can be strengthened tomorrow too. And here is the deeper truth underneath all 7 habits. Babies are not counting your mistakes. They are tracking repair. That does not erase hard nights. It means hard nights can still happen inside a relationship that feels protective overall. You can lose patience, miss cues, misread cries, and still raise a secure child. Security grows through repair after rupture. That means pausing after a harsh tone and softening, picking her baby up after delay, reconnecting after a rushed change. It means noticing when your own stress is filling the room. Babies borrow our nervous systems before they build theirs. Secure attachment is not a non-stop mood. It is a repeated experience of being helped back toward regulation again gently. Your calm does not need to be constant. It needs to be recoverable, visible, and offered again and again lovingly. This is why support for parents matters so much. An overwhelmed caregiver cannot endlessly provide regulation without receiving regulation too. Many parents were never co-regulated well themselves, so offering safety can feel unfamiliar before it starts feeling powerful too. So if this video stirred guilt, let that go. Guilt freezes learning. Gentle awareness creates real change much faster anyway. The goal is not becoming endlessly available. The goal is becoming emotionally understandable, especially when your baby needs help most. Start with one moment today. One cry answered softer. One diaper change with eye contact. One bedtime with calmer energy. These are not gestures to a baby. They are repeated signals about safety, trust, and whether the world feels manageable. Over time, those signals shape more than mood. They help wire expectations about love, stress, and what relationships feel like. Years from now, your child will not remember tonight's diaper change, but their body will remember the world care created. And the beautiful part is this: Safety is built in ordinary moments, which means ordinary moments can begin changing today. When your baby studies your face, they are not asking for perfection. They are searching for home in human form. And every time your presence says, "You are safe with me," their whole little world becomes easier to trust again.